Welcome to the Wild Mom Podcast. We do things a little differently around here. If you're a mystic, spiritual, conscious, wild mother, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to come back to your roots, remember your divinity, and embody the wild woman within. You're here to shake up the parenting game, awaken from the matrix, and raise your new earth children to be free and energetically connected to all there is. This is your podcast to reclaim the wise and the wealthy, the intuitive, loving, and divinely feminine motherhood. Mama, welcome back to the wild. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Wild Mom Podcast. Welcome to another space where we are talking about the 3 steps to become an awakened mother. So I am so happy that you are here with me in my world. We're going to have such a fun time. If you are tuning in live, whether on Instagram or on Facebook, I welcome you. I welcome any and all questions. I am excited to share with you some of the really powerful, intuitive messages that I have received over the past little bit, just really around the steps to take to be an awakened mother and the importance to being an awakened mother. So let's dive a little bit more into what this awakened mother is. So you're raising new earth kids, right? This is why you were here. You're listening to this podcast because you're raising new earth kids and you want to find the best techniques out there in order to support them. So whether it is that you are just starting off in this world and you are just trying to figure out if you have a new earth child, or you've been doing this work for a while, you know without a doubt you have a new earth child. They're different, they're special, they are intuitive, and you just want to be the best version of yourself for them, this is the episode for you. So I welcome you here. Again, I have so many different resources, offerings that you can dive into right now to help you no matter where your journey is. Again, we have a new earth child checklist to check out. We were going to have the Cosmic Mother Academy, but that is not going to be launching until next year because something more exciting is going to be coming in October, which I will share with you a couple of details here. I shared it already in the Cycle Breakers free event, but this journey that you were on is so important. So I also want you to just take a moment and congratulate yourself for being here, for showing up, for doing something that is beyond just motherhood. Because when you have a new earth child, you really gotta get your shit together. When you have a new earth child, you have to do things wildly different than maybe you ever thought possible. You have to go above and beyond. And yes, you may be hearing this and thinking, oh fuck, I don't want to be doing this. That's way too much for me to do. Motherhood in itself is just too much. But I want to break down for you what exactly awakened motherhood is, why it is so important, and how liberating it can be when you're in that space. So let's dive right into it. What does it mean to be an awakened mother? So an awakened mother is a mother who is intuitive. She is so deeply connected to her child. She shows up for her child in the highest and best way. She is able to regulate her own emotions and regulate her kids' emotions. She knows how to energetically, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally meet the needs of her children. She is interested in incorporating spirituality into her daily life, into her motherhood practice. She is looking for new and empowering energy healing techniques for herself. This is what the awakened mother is. The awakened mother is one who is loving the experience of motherhood and seeing it as something far greater than just raising a kid. She is seeing it as an opportunity to go through her own healing, because that's exactly what happens when you start to enter into this awakened mother. You are becoming a spiritual being. You are transcending. You are going far deeper than what maybe you ever thought possible. Maybe this is your first spiritual awakening. Maybe this is your 10th. Maybe this is the worst one you've been through. Maybe this is a dark night of the soul. Whatever it is that you're going through, if you can allow yourself to see that this is you awakening a part of yourself that maybe you didn't even realize was there, you will want to go above and beyond. You will want to do the work. You will want to show up differently. You will want to incorporate all these new practices to best support yourself and your child, because you'll see that it is just such a beautiful gift that you have. Your child's child chose you for a reason, because they knew that you were ready to awaken. They knew that you were ready to do this work, to be the best version of yourself. So if that's you, then stick around. If that is not you, then you're not supposed to be in my world, in which case, I love you so much, sending you so much love. But I pretty much guarantee that if you're listening to this, this is for you. You want to be that mom. You realize that there's a deeper purpose to you in being a mother. You realize that you want to have that deep, sacred connection with your child. You want to be able to support them in the highest and best way. You want to be able to know moment to moment what they need. I know this is you. And if so, let's dive into the 3 steps in order to help you get there. Because it really is, I don't want to say a simple process, but it's not as extreme as maybe you think. You don't have to have a whole long list of chores you got to do every day. The first one is, and this one's probably the deepest one for you to work through, and that is to break the cycles of belief. That is to change how you are parenting. And this means that you have to do the deep inner work. You have to go deep into your subconscious mind. You have to find out what wounds you picked up from your childhood. This is why this is so important. Because if you are unconsciously parenting through pain, you are going to be instilling your childhood beliefs into your kids, and then they're going to grow up having to go to therapy, needing to come to energy healers like myself, feeling like they are held back in some way. And I know this may sound like it's a huge pressure that you have on you, but I'm sorry, you do. You have a huge role in the development of your child, and you got to take it seriously, which means you have to do the inner work, the work that you have been avoiding, the work that you maybe have gone to therapy for, the work that requires you to find that deep, deep core belief that is manifesting everything else in your reality. Because that is what is happening. When you are parenting through pain, when you are parenting unconsciously, you are just regurgitating, you are just sending out the vibrations, the wounds, the trauma, the beliefs that your parents instilled in you. And I know you don't want to do that. I know that you want to be able to raise a child that is empowered, that loves themselves, that is abundant, that is happy, that is healthy. That's a goal for all moms, right? Right. But for these new earth kids that have come here for a greater purpose, for the purpose of raising the conscious collective, who have higher needs, who are more intuitive, who are more energetically sensitive, they need you to step up. And the first step to becoming that awakened mother for them is to start to find out how your belief systems are impacting them. And so I'll give you an example. So this is something that came up when I was writing my book. And yes, I just snuck that in there. I am writing a book and it's going to be launching. I am hoping I'm getting the message of April 2025, and I'm flipping excited. I'm so excited because this is going to be shedding light on the gap, the developmental gap that is happening, and why New Earth kids need you to be the awakened mother. I digress. So, when you are in the book, I mention about my own story, about how I was raising my daughter. I went through postpartum depression and anger and anxiety, and I was triggered all the time whenever my daughter had temper tantrums, when she wouldn't sleep, when she would resist me, when she would push against me, when she'd be crying. It drove me mad. And so I had to figure out, okay, I'm not being the best version of myself. I was aggressive with her. I was yelling. I was slamming doors. I threw my own temper tantrums. I remember one night I was literally just flailing my arms and just freaking out. And it's embarrassing to say, but I also know that I'm not the only one who's been through that. And that is because we have all experienced our own childhood trauma that we are unaware that is running the show. When I dug into my subconscious, I found out that I was holding on to the belief that if I lose control, I will be unsafe. If I lose control, I will be vulnerable. I am not the perfect mom, and this made me feel not good enough. So my energetic charge was not good enough, and the beliefs was I'm a failure. I need control or I will be unsafe. And so these two together, the beliefs and the energetic charge, it created my expression of trying to bring myself back to safety. My fight or flight mode was I gotta act out in anger. I gotta freak out. I gotta eliminate the cause of this pain. Now I wasn't gonna eliminate my daughter, but I wanted to push her away from me. I wanted to no longer be a mom. I had thoughts about running away from being a mom. I literally had thoughts of how can I just leave? Because the pain, those beliefs were so strong and it was affecting not only my relationship with my daughter, my relationship with my partner, my health, my sleep, my finances. And so, if you're unaware of those beliefs that you have to break, that you've been called to break, that your child has been mirroring to you to break, then you can't be that awakened mother. You will be parenting unconsciously. You will be parenting from this sleep like state that it's going to feel like you're numb. It's going to feel like everything is just on autopilot. It's going to feel like nothing is good enough. Some of the most common beliefs that moms have, and I talk about this in my Cycle Breakers free event, some of the big beliefs is feeling guilty, not good enough, losing control, feeling like a failure. These are things that are so common for moms. So common. And yet we don't even take the time to explore it. Where did this belief that I need to feel guilty for taking time for myself, where'd that come from? So many moms have that. Where'd that come from? Where the beliefs come that you feel like you're not good enough to parent, that you have to parent a certain way. All of these things that are coming up, you're being called to release them. And that is the first step for you to be an awakened mom. The first step. Okay. The second step for you to become an awakened mom is to parent from higher levels of consciousness. Now, this part gets really cool. So once you've done the deep inner work, again, that first step that needs to be taken, once you do that, the next step for you is then to start to change your brainwave state. And this is something that I teach in all of my containers, and in the container that is coming out in October, that is going to be so intimate and so nourishing and so deeply healing, especially in using the cycle in which the winter months, the menstrual cycle, we're going into that deep hibernation mode. This is the time to do this work. I'm sharing with you so many deep things in this container around parenting from these higher levels of consciousness. Because when you can shift your brainwave state on a moment to moment basis with your kids, with all the chaos around you, you are now going to be seeing things from a higher perspective. You are now going to be taking yourself out of the equation, taking your ego self, your wounded self out of the equation, and being able to see the bigger picture of why my kid is throwing a temper tantrum, why my child isn't sleeping, why they aren't eating. You're going to be able to fully understand on an energetic, a spiritual, and a higher level planes of existence perspective of what is going on. And from this place where there is no ego, there's no duality, there's no polarity, now you can parent from that place of love. Now you can parent from that place of intuition. Now you have a grounded center of how you're showing up for your kid. This altered brainwave state, this higher levels of consciousness that you can be parenting from, that I have taught so many moms to parent from, that I do on a daily basis with my daughter, it also helps to calm your nervous system. It lowers cortisol levels. You were able to have instant healing done in this place. You were able to have spontaneous visualizations. You're able to transcend what is possible. And that is amazing for a new earth mom, for a mom who needs to know how to protect their kids' energetic field from spirits, for a mom that needs to know how to balance their child's chakras every night, for a mom that needs to know how to zip up their daughter's or son's auric field in a crowd because there's just too much energy. Parenting from this place makes it so much easier. Parenting from this place allows you to be that awakened mother, to be aware of what is going on, and to take yourself and your wounds and your triggers out of the equation. And if you've already done the inner work, Well, then now this is even easier. Now you're able to do things that may not be even in your realm of possibility. When you're able to parent from this place, everything seems easier. Even when you are triggered, you're able to catch yourself, realign yourself, and choose a new path, because now you also know how your reaction is going to imprint on your child certain beliefs. Do you feel that? Do you feel the power of that? Do you feel the liberation of that? Do you feel how exciting that is? This is something that I teach in all of my containers. This is something that is taught and the embodiment of this in my Theta healing trainings. When you're able to change your brainwave state to this altered state, that is the next step for you to be the awakened mother. It's also a really, really exciting step because you're able to open yourself up to what's possible. You start to align your own chakras. You start to feel more in tune with your intuitive abilities. You start to feel more empowered and confident and trusting in your abilities as a mother, as a woman, as a human being. And then motherhood just becomes an extra facet of your being. It doesn't consume you. It doesn't drain you. It doesn't have you feeling overwhelmed, confused, and lost. It's empowering to be a mom when you are parenting from this higher level of consciousness. It's just, oh, I love it so much. Okay, the third step, harnessing the tools to support your new earth child's needs. So this is why doing the first two steps is so important, because if you are trying to go right into my balancing baby chakras course, for example, if you are trying to go straight into working with spirits for your kids, you are going to struggle, because all of those limiting beliefs that tell you none of this is real, this isn't possible, you're not good enough to do this, that's all going to be circling around you, creating more doubt, more insecurity, and eventually you will stop doing it. This is why I am changing everything in my business to now work with the cycles that you were going through, because and to work with where you are at, because if you want to do this work, you got to start off with these two steps. This is why Cycle Breakers, it's a free event. Come join it. It is so powerful. This is that first step. The first step is to work with those subconscious beliefs. The second step is to start really, I forgot what I said, to start to parent from those higher levels of consciousness. Access that altered brainwave state. Start trusting your intuition more. And then that third step is to start to use the tools. These are the tools that I share in my containers, such as balancing baby chakras. These are the tools that I share with you in my Theta healing trainings. These are the tools that are more fun. These are the ones where you're going to learn how to zip up your child's auric field and balance their chakras and send them instant healing when they're sick, and to be able to lower their fever in under 5 minutes. These are the techniques that you're going to be able to see spirits and remove spirits and program things around them to help support them. These are the more, I don't want to say extras, but these are the steps to take after you have done the work. Because if you are out of alignment, if you are parenting from a place of pain, if you are parenting from a place of fear, these tools will not work for you. You need to have that virtue of trust. You need to have a strong belief that you are confident, that you are worthy, that you are good enough. And then these techniques will work for you. I've seen moms do this work. I've seen moms try to do this work and they say nothing's working. Well, no shit, nothing's working. You are still living in that old paradigm. You are still parenting from that place of your own childhood wounds. So of course it's not going to work, because this is new earth stuff. This is stuff that is not written anywhere. This is stuff that is written in my book, because there is such a gap in the education system for new earth moms. But if you're wanting to do all of the fun stuff, the balancing chakras and the zipping up their auric field and clearing spirits from them, you have to do the first two steps, because your child is a mirror to you. If you are going to be trying to lower your kid's fever with the techniques that I teach in my programs, but you have the belief that Western medicine is the only way. It is unsafe for me to use energy healing because it means I'm bad and God will hate me and all these different beliefs, then you're not going to be able to do it. And you're going to start to live through fear. And you're going to want to help your kids energetically, but you're not going to be able to. And so this is why you have to do those first two steps. And then the third step, using those tools, this is where more of my containers that will be launching next year will be for you. Balancing baby chakras, already out there. Sacred slumber, already out there. So if you've already done the first two steps, these would be the programs for you. But if you're hearing all this and thinking, okay, this is what I want, but I don't think I can get there, I still have these limiting beliefs, then that's where Cycle Breakers. That is the training for you. That's where you need to start. This is where the container that is coming out in October, that is going to be guiding you through becoming an awakened mother. That's just a little secret that I'll be sharing with you. It's all I'll be sharing with you about that container, actually. That's what Creator just channeled to me. That container, that will be for you. If you've never done inner child work, if you've never dove into your subconscious mind, if you've never explored your childhood wounds, this is that first step for you. This is what you need to do. This is what your soul is asking you to do, especially in these more winter months coming up, because this is what part of your cycle is supporting. And this is going to be so nourishing and healing for you. This container is so small and so intimate, and I'm working with you one-on-one to dive into more of these, to uncover those bottom beliefs, to really shed those layers of fear, of doubt, of overwhelm, of maybe control, maybe guilt, whatever it is that's going to show up in your energetic blueprint in order for you to be that awakened mother. So that way next year, you can start taking all the other courses. You can start really embodying more of this, your intuitive abilities. There's going to be a course coming out next year for that too. There's so much that can be done when you are an awakened mother. You will feel so liberated and free and empowered and confident and strong, and everything will just feel like it's magical throughout the day. You'll go through your own spiritual awakening, and just know that when you start to do this work, when you dive into your subconscious, when you parent from higher levels of consciousness, when you embody the tools that allow you to really support your new earth child's needs, every other area of your life also changes. You'll start to notice your finances improve. You'll start to notice your romantic relationships improve. Your relationship with your parents will improve. Your health will improve. And of course, the bond between you and your child will deepen so greatly that you're going to wish that you started this earlier. So those are my 3 steps. There are so many different points of entry that you can do to enter into my world, whether it is balancing baby chakras, whether it is sacred slumber, whether it is the cycle breakers, whether it is coming into my container in October. I love sharing this information with you. I am so excited for you to be here, whether you tuned in live, listening to the replay. If you were listening on a streaming platform, I would love a subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another Mystic Mama who needs to hear this today. So I'm sending you so much love, and we'll talk soon. Bye.